Hello and welcome to another week of Sambo iRacing. We're back with another track guide, this time at Watkins Glen boot layout. This time for the GT3 challenge in the Honda Acura. If you are new to my channel, what we do is a hot lap and breakdown, then we're back in the cockpit one final time with the driving line on. Any questions, let me know in the comments, and obviously this is using the fixed setup that will be used in the GT3 challenge. Right, let's start the lap. Okay, let's start the hot lap. So smashing it down the main straight, up to top gear, looking for the 150 there or thereabouts, all the way down to third gear, on the gas nice and early, exit nice and wide, keeping those right-hand tyres over the rumble strip. Now we're flat out all the way to 4A in a loop. Just making sure that we're just clipping these rumble strips here on the insides of the turns. And again, we're going to be looking for roughly the 150 meter marker once again. Maybe the 200 there. Back on the gas in fourth gear. Lift now very lightly on the brake, and now back on the gas as soon as we see that Marshall shot on the right hand side. Back over to the right hand side, up to fifth gear. Lightly on the brakes. When I say lightly, I mean up to about 70%, all the way down to third gear. Again, we're looking for roughly where the 150 would be, and we're going to brake all the way down to third. Back on the gas. Quite a slidey little turn, that one, as you can see with the correction. Again, we're looking for between the 200 and the 100 for this braking zone. Up to about 80%. Getting on the gas nice and early. We can exit really wide here. No off track for that. And then just before we get to the crest, on the brakes, down to second gear. No brake round here as we hit turn 10, just a lift, back on the gas, try and get all the way back over to the left hand side. I'm braking up to about 50%, stay in fourth gear, back on the gas, don't hit that wall, over and across the line in a 143.789. As I say, this is using the fixed setup. There is probably about a second to be gained here with a decent setup, but, you know, that's life. Right, let's do the breakdown. Okay, let's charge through the hot lap. So, the sweet spot for braking around here is just before the 200 for turn 1, and we're going to brake up to about 80%. We're going to wipe that speed off, and then we're going to start turning in, and we trail off all the way down to third gear. We get back on the gas at the apex here. Get up to 100% as we leave it. Noise it nice and wide. We've got to keep our right-hand tyres just on the rumble strip. Now we're absolutely flat out. As I say, we just want to kiss these rumble strips here. There's one kiss. There's the second kiss. And a third kiss. Very European. Right, and again, just before the 200 meters here, we're going to be braking not too hard, only up to about 43%, as you can see here. Drop it down to fourth. Well, we drop it down to fifth, and then we drop it down to fourth. Now we start getting back on the gas here as we've gone through the first two apexes. Back on 100% before we hit the third one. Then we want to get nice and wide. We're going to do a lift. I'm going to get on the brakes, only up to sort of 10%. And basically, I'm waiting. And if you look at the right-hand side of the screen, as soon as I see the Marshall's hut coming into view, just hovering into view on the right-hand side there, that's when I start getting back on the gas. And now I'm back on 100%, nice and early on. You're always going to feel like you're going to be flying off to the left-hand side, but you've actually, you've got a lot more grip than you expect out here. So this one's quite tricky. Basically, there's a storm drain on the right-hand side, as you can see here. And just before you get to it, we're going to brake up to about 70%, drop it down to fourth, so still trailing it off. I then drop it down to third. And now once my car is settled, as you can see now, I try and build back up. I'm back up on 100% throttle midway through the boot. Our braking marker here is going to be just before the, just after the 200 meter board. So we go through the 200 meter board and I'll brake up to nearly 80%. And again, long trail off, down to fourth, down to third, waiting for the car to settle. Not quite at 100% yet. Now, as I know my car's going to do it, back up to 100%. As you can see, I had a little wobble there on exit. It was absolutely fine now. Once again here, as we come into the heel of the boot, it's going to be between the 200 and the 100 meter boards. And we're going to brake up to about 90%, drop it down to fourth, drop it down to third, long trail off. Now, once we're halfway through the turn and I'm back towards the apex, I'm on 50% gas. Once the car's settled out and I can open the steering up a little bit, back on our 100%. We can go all the way out to the grass here. There's no off track. Next braking zone is just before we get to the crest. As you can see now, I'm in third gear. I brake up to about 60%. Long trail off, drop it down to second. Now I slowly build back up on the gas here because it's so easy to lose your rear. So as I open my steering up, back up to 100%, up to third gear, up to fourth. So we're going to start the turn in again at roughly the 150 meter board, or where the 150 would be. I'm going to do a big lift, almost down to, what's this, 20%, 25%. And then as I leave the apex, go back up to full gas, get back over to the left-hand side. And now what we're looking for here is, you see the tire barrier on the left before it just becomes 3 sheets of steel or whatever that is. That's going to be our braking marker as the tire barrier ends. We're just going to brake up to about 50%, trail it off, leaving it in fourth gear. And now we're back on 100%, nice and early doors. We're going to exit real close to the wall and over and across the line in a 1:43.789. Right, one final version coming up with the driving line on. I won't be speaking, please enjoy. As always, thanks for watching. I've been Sambo iRacing, and I'll see you guys in the week.